Yep. Hey everybody, this is Chris DiMarco coming to you from AstroCon 2011. I'm here with Doug Vilim. Doug is Vice President of Sales with Sangoma. How's it going today, Doug?
It's going wonderful, and I'm happy to be here, Chris. Thanks for everything.
Good to hear it. So you guys are well known in the open source industry. For those of our viewers who may not be so familiar, with Sangoma's background, could you give us a little bit of your history in the open source platform?
Sure. Well, first of all, Sangoma goes back to 1984, so we've been around a long time. But our involvement with open source actually dates back to the kernel of Linux, 1.01. If you go way back to the late 90s, you'll see our intellectual property scattered throughout the kernel of Linux, its contributions. Our involvement with Asterisk as a telephony application started in probably around 2002, 2003. In working with Digium, in collaboration with Digium at the beginning, and then at a later date competing with Digium more on the hardware side. But we are involved with almost every distribution of Asterisk or flavor of Asterisk that's out there from many angles. Perhaps it's contribution of engineering time, perhaps on the hardware or the software side, marketing support for various projects, financial contributions to projects, hardware contributions. So we collaborate with almost every flavor or every distribution of Asterisk that's out there.
Great. And you guys are displaying here. You're on the floor. What are you showing off at the expo?
Well, there's many things going on in our booth. We have one of our distribution partners there called VoIP out of Southern California. We are partnered with Vichy Dial, which is a predictive dialer based on open source Asterisk. And it's a predictive dialer that not only uses our hardware in their gateways, but also uses a product called Call Analyzer from Sangoma, which improves the efficiencies of a predictive dialer when it's making its calls. And the last thing we're showing in the booth is a combination of cards and external gateways. External gateways being a recent acquisition of a company called VegaStream out of the UK. So there's a lot going on in our booth. There's a lot of traffic there, and it's very busy. And you should stop by and chat to the guys. There's a lot going on down there today, Chris.
I'll make sure to do that, definitely. And this is the season, for expos. Do you guys have any other events coming up?
Well, Elastic's World is happening in Mexico City next Thursday, Friday. We are significant supporters of Elastics, and therefore we're going fairly large at that conference. We've been supporting Elastics since day one. There will be some announcements on some contributions that Sangoma has made to Elastics, as well as some new features on Elastics that we funded that will be made next week. So our distribution partners will be there, some software partners, and there's some training initiatives that will also be announced next week with Elastics. After Elastics World next week, we look forward to TMC in Miami, which has always been one of our landmark shows for us. The whole Latin American community gathers in Miami. The North American community gathers in Miami. And that's really one of the biggest shows that we participate in all around the world. So we're sure looking forward to that one as well.
Great. So you briefly touched on your acquisition of VegaStream. For our viewers who aren't familiar with that acquisition and what it means, can you kind of break it down for them?
Sure. So Sangoma has been in the card market for many, many years, since day one. There is significant opportunity in the external gateway market as well, as SIP becomes a more predominant protocol in the voice world. So Sangoma had to make a decision in entering the external gateway market. Do we grow it ourselves or do we acquire? So we've been doing a little bit of both investigation on the side over the last year, and the time was right for an acquisition of a company called VegaStream out of UK. So it does several things for us. First of all, it gives us a hard presence in Europe, from sales and marketing and support and engineering, but it also catapults us into the external gateway market. So all of our mandates in an acquisition were fulfilled through one acquisition, and it looks to be very, very promising as we continue to retool the factories to get product to market.
Great. Well, Doug, thank you for taking some time to talk to us today, and we look forward to seeing you in February at IT Expo.
Thanks, Chris. I appreciate the opportunity.